Exploring the evolution of skin appendages in Triassic reptiles. What if everything you thought you knew about the origins of feathers and scales in reptiles was only half the story? New fossil discoveries are radically reshaping science's understanding of how skin appendages diversified among early reptiles. And the real shocker is just how deep and unexpected this evolutionary experimentation ran during the Triassic period. Amniotes, the major group of land vertebrates including reptiles, birds, and mammals, are defined by their vast array of skin-related structures. Think of the varied scales of a gecko, the claws of a cat, a bird's feathers, or the horns of an antelope. These adaptations, both in living animals and fossils, arise from sophisticated interactions during early embryonic development between two skin layers, and all rely on a suite of shared genetic signals, such as Wnt, beta-catenin, EDR, BMP, and shock pathways. Yet most research and fossil finds have focused on birds, mammals, and their close relatives, leaving the evolutionary roots in other reptilian lineages a mystery. But here's where the story takes a turn. Until recently, the only evidence suggesting complex skin appendages in early reptiles outside of close bird relatives came from a curious Triassic creature called Longisquama insignis, described as possessing odd, feather-like protrusions. However, skepticism has long surrounded these claims due to incomplete fossils and unresolved relationships. Some paleontologists argued these appendages merely looked like feathers, but were fundamentally different, lacking key features such as barbs, and others doubted their evolutionary significance. Now a newly described Triassic reptile, Mirasaura grauvogeli, adds a dramatic twist. This species, unearthed from France and dated to about 247 million years ago, is represented by exquisitely preserved skeletons and a treasure trove of more than 80 specimens preserving associated skin appendages. These overlapping, elongated structures run along the animal's back, forming a striking crest. Detailed analysis using UV light, electron microscopy, and elemental mapping reveals they are not scales or simple skin flaps. Instead, they sport a unique bilateral state with preserved pigment granules, melanosomes, that astonishingly match those found in bird feathers. And this is the part most people miss. Despite the resemblance, Mirasaura's appendages don't branch like true feathers. Rather, they are composed of two asymmetrical layers with a central ridge, sometimes with fine ridges or wrinkles. Comparing these features to the controversial Longisquama finds, scientists discovered that both belong to an extinct group called Drepanosauromorphs, a group previously overlooked in skin evolution debates. Mirasaura's anatomy also suggests it lived in trees with long curved claws and a flexible trunk, possibly probing for insects, much like today's arboreal reptiles and birds. But here's the controversy. If these appendages aren't feathers or scales, what are they? And are they the evolutionary roots of feathers, making us rethink dinosaur and bird ancestry? Or an entirely independent evolutionary experiment? Careful lineage analysis points to the latter. Both Mirasaura and Longisquama, despite their superficial similarity to feathers, are only distantly related to the dinosaurs and birds. Their skin structures seem to have evolved independently. Even more provocatively, this work challenges the long-standing belief that complex skin structures, like feathers and hair, arose only in the immediate relatives of birds and mammals. Mirasaura pushes the origins of such innovations millions of years earlier and into unexpected branches of the reptilian tree. These findings imply that the Triassic, long viewed simply as a time of recovery after Earth's greatest mass extinction, was a hotbed of wild anatomical innovation. As for the function of Mirasaura's dramatic crest, unlike feathers that insulate or enable flight, these appendages likely served for intraspecies communication on display, not unlike the plumage of many modern birds or the flashy scales of lizards. The overlap with feather melanosomes, however, is hard to ignore and sure to send ripples through evolutionary biology debates. So, do these revelations rewrite the story of reptile skin evolution? Could other extinct reptile groups hold similar surprises? Are the boundaries we draw between feathers, scales, and other appendages too simplistic? Dive in and share your thoughts below. Is this an elegant example of convergent evolution? Or do you see clues here that challenge the mainstream view on reptile ancestry? Let the debate begin. Mirasaura grauvogeli, the feathered monkey reptile that changed prehistoric evolution. Imagine a creature that's a mix of a bird, a monkey, and a reptile. Sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, right? But believe it or not, such a creature actually existed, and its discovery has left scientists stunned and eager to learn more. Meet Mirasaura grauvogeli, a prehistoric reptile that's been dubbed a miraculous find. With its feather-like crest and monkey-like tail, it's a fossil that's rewriting the rules of evolutionary history. But here's where it gets really interesting. This creature isn't related to birds or dinosaurs, and it lived a whopping 247 million years ago, long before the first dinosaurs took to the skies. The discovery of Mirasaura grauvogeli is a game changer, and it's forcing scientists to rethink their assumptions about the evolution of complex structures like feathers and fur. For a long time, researchers believed that these features were unique to the lineages that gave rise to birds and mammals. But now, it seems that similar adaptations were more widespread than previously thought. As Steve Prehistoric, a paleontologist at the University of Edinburgh, puts it, "I'm stunned and flabbergasted. It's been a long time since I've been so blown away by a new fossil discovery." So what makes Mirasaura grauvogeli so special? For starters, its crest is unlike any other known integumentary appendage. It's a regal, plume-like structure that's made up of stiff, keratin-based filaments that are similar to those found in bird feathers. And if that's not enough, the creature's tail is prehensile, just like a monkey's, and its feet are adapted for climbing, with sharp claws that would have allowed it to grip onto branches with ease. What really sets Mirasaura grauvogeli apart is its place in the evolutionary tree. It's a member of a group of arboreal reptiles called trypanosaurs, which are sometimes compared to chameleons, but are actually much weirder. These creatures had barrel-shaped bodies, humped shoulders, and large forward-facing eyes, and many of them had opposable thumbs and monkey-like tails. As Stefan Speakman, a paleontologist at the State Museum of Natural History in Stuttgart, Germany, notes, "To me, the closest analog is a pygmy anteater. They're just really strange and really cool." The discovery of Mirasaura grauvogeli also helps to solve a decades-old paleontological mystery, the enigma of Longisquima, a fragmentary reptile with feather-like structures that was discovered in Kyrgyzstan back in 1970. For years, scientists have been trying to figure out where Longisquima fit into the reptile family tree, but now it seems it is actually a long-lost trypanosaur. As Michael Gulkwitz, a paleontologist at the Museum of Natural History, Magdeburg in Germany, puts it, "The enigma is solved now. We finally know what Longisquima is." So what does this discovery tell us about the evolution of life on Earth? For one, it suggests that the genetic adaptations for making complex structures like feathers and fur arose early on in the vertebrate evolutionary tree. As Spluckman notes, it's a remarkable example of convergent evolution, maybe the most stunning one I've ever seen. And this is the part that's really going to blow your mind. It seems that birds may have actually mimicked the trypanosaurs rather than the other way around. As Prehistoric puts it, they were not bird mimics. It was birds that mimicked them. But here's the thing. This discovery is not without its controversies. Some scientists may argue that the similarities between Mirasaura grauvogeli and birds are simply a case of convergent evolution, while others may see it as evidence of a more complex and nuanced evolutionary history. And this is where we want to hear from you. Do you think that the discovery of Mirasaura grauvogeli challenges our current understanding of evolutionary history? Or is it simply a fascinating footnote in the story of life on Earth? Let us know in the comments. As we continue to learn more about this miraculous creature, one thing is certain. It's a reminder that the natural world is full of surprises, and that there's always more to discover. So what do you think? Are you as blown away by this discovery as we are? Share your thoughts, and let's keep the conversation going.